Okay, hello and welcome to today's Minecraft stream. Just a quick reminder, we're playing the Direwolf 20 pack and we're doing some interesting things. Basically yesterday, the first thing we did was sorry, just put the game sound on. Let's just put the sound. Oh nice, raining. There we go, that should do. Okay, so yesterday we worked a little bit on getting my first reactor set up. Yes, no interference. What I did yesterday, I initially set up my reactor with just one control rod, and if you remember, it was only doing about 450 RF per tick, which wasn't quite enough to keep this this power. This was draining some of the power from upstairs. So what I did after yesterday's stream was I slightly improved my reactor. I added another level to it, made it one higher. And what I did some research and found out that this is quite an efficient way, basically putting 4 control rods next to each other, because apparently what happens is if you just have one, it just does a normal output. But if you have 2 or more next to each other, they start to irradiate each other, which essentially means you get like a small percentage gain for each one you have next to another. Now this here seems to be a pretty good configuration for what we want to be doing to start with. Now what I didn't mention yesterday is that when you have the structure complete, you can right click on each of these control rods, and you see here I have the rods currently inserted to 80%. What that means, if I come down and show you the controls, you know, I have the rods inserted to 80%. So currently this reactor is only putting out 950 RF per tick, which is absolutely fine to run our little thing up there. Yeah, seriously dude, I'm trying to talk here, you're in the way. Okay, so what I can do, if I go up the top here for a second and I manually change these rods, do all 4 of them. What will happen now, I'll go back down and look at the power. Let's see, so it was putting out about 950. Now it's putting about 4,500. So it's a huge increase in power. However, it means that we're using more fuel, so the fuel will be used up quicker. So what I've been doing during today is I've been running it at a low percentage with these rods all inserted to 80%, which for the moment is fine. We don't need to worry about that. So I'm going to put them back to what they were. Okay. There we go. Right, so now the reactor is back. Yeah, dude, you're right where I want to. Thank you. So now look, the reactor's going back down to around 950, which is where we want him to be. Now what I've also done, you remember yesterday I set up some capacitor banks. That Enderman's really starting to annoy me. He's everywhere I want to be. I put just the normal capacitor banks down yesterday. I had 8 of them, and each of them was capable of holding 5 million RF. Now that's fine, that's not too bad, but what I decided to do today is upgrade them to the vibrant capacitor banks. Each one of these 4 here, can hold 25 million. So there's 100 million there in total. And this little block here, this energy cell, is acting as a buffer. He's also can hold 50 million. So in total, I've got 150 million RF here, plus the 10, I think it's 10 million. Yeah, the 10 million buffer that the reactor's built up in the time that I've just had it running at this sort of relatively idling speed. So that's what I've done in between yesterday and today. And also our void miner, as you can see, has been very busy. He's also started collecting these. These are the erodium crystals. These are the ones you need to build your tier 2. And then when you build the tier 2, you start getting the tier 3 crystals. So, the plan for today, what I've done, I've marked out space for another one. I've dug the hole all the way down to bedrock, ready for the laser. Now what I need to do is I need to set up the second one. So essentially the controller has to be directly above the center of that hole. So this is going to be fun. What I'm going to have to do is, I want the controller up there. Now he has to be 5 blocks up. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, and he's got to be on top of that. Okay, so in preparation for today, what I've done is I have gone ahead and done all the hard work. I've got the pieces all ready. See, Void Ore Miner Controller Tier 2 and all the components that he's going to require. Now, with the Tier 2 and above, you have space to put modifiers in. Now, unfortunately, the 3 modifiers that you can put on an ore miner are null, which does nothing, accuracy and speed. Now, both the accuracy and speed modifier blocks require the higher tier crystals that I can't get yet. So I'm going to have to put the null modifiers in there for the moment. Okay, so the way we get started is we get our controller and we pop him up the top here. Should be able to reach him from down here. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take away all these blocks because I don't think I'm going to need them. So he should be in the right position. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 high. This one's going to be 5 high. Okay, now what I need is my assembler tool, which is in here somewhere. There he is. So you get your assembler tool, and you have to have all your components ready in here. So what we should be able to do now is just start right clicking on the controller, and he should, you go see all the blocks starting to appear, should start assembling from my inventory. And there we go. See, now when I right click on him it says assembled true, and if I look in my inventory, there we go, all the items for the ore miner 2 gone. So there you go. It looks slightly different from the tier 1. That's the tier 1 and this is the tier 2. Now he is going to need power. Now what I've been doing here, these conduits here, these are the enhanced energy conduits. Now they're capable of transferring 5,000 RF per tick. This one is consuming about 660. This one is going to be consuming around 3,000 something. I think it's 3,600. Let me just check that actually. I want to be sure about that. Let's have a look. Okay, let's just check on the tiers. So, Void Ore tier 2. Okay, so tier 2 uses 3,600, so between them that's 4,280 they need. My reactor running at maximum capacity is capable of putting out about 4,500, so that's fine. However, these conduits, as soon as I start upgrading, these conduits aren't going to cut it. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our tool, and we are going to start taking these out, because I have made these things. These are the next level of conduits up, and these are ender energy conduits, and they can do, as you can see, 20,480 per tick. So essentially what I'm doing here is a bit of future proofing, because that will mean that I can upgrade these a couple of times and still be able to cope with the energy throughput. All I'll have to do is increase the capacity of my reactor. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take my wrench, shift right click on the conduits, take those out, and get my ender conduits in here. Okay, so I'll put you there, and you there. Okay, now what I've got to do is take all these out. This is where we need it. We're going to start building a ladder. Okay, so let's what I basically want to do is replace the existing conduit line with these gentlemen. Okay, so I need to be about here. Okay. So let's take these guys. Put in these chaps. Right. Okay, so probably come up this side. Dude, seriously? We have a guest star on today's show. Yeah, pain in the bum. Right. Okay, so get rid of these. Okay. And as you can see, this thing now is empty of power, so he doesn't have any power at all, so he's stopped. Basically. Like so. Except that. Oh, that's good. Good. Right, so what I'm going to do now. Okay. Now you'll see this guy starting to fill back up. Yeah, completely full already, because these banks now are putting out huge amounts of power. See, those, they haven't even touched the power on those. What it should have done is drain the reactor a little bit. Yeah, see, not too much, so he's building up again quite quickly. That's all going to change very rapidly when I hook up the second one. So I love the way I'm getting the added commentary from the Enderman. It doesn't really think that I'm doing it the right way. It's very nice, but you know, dude, seriously. Whose stream is this anyway? Okay. Almost there. Okay, I think I can quite get there, so I might do there. Let's see, there we go. Really? And there. As you can see, he can take quite a bit more power. Right, now what I need to do quite quickly is I need to go and make myself a crate. So we're going to go. Okay, so let's put in a crate. Okay, small storage crate, need to make a casing. And then a crate. Really? No sticks in there? Okay. Planks. Really? It seems to be harder. Okay, right. Now we can make our crate. Fine. Sometimes the AE systems can be a little bit awkward with that auto crafting. There we go. Let's put the sticks in the thing. Please give me a crate. What's going on? Oh, chests. 1, 2, 3, 4. I thought it was sticks. Okay, there we go. There's the crate. Don't need those conduits anymore. Don't need those conduits anymore. And let's go and quickly get. Shit. Didn't need to do that. Got myself completely lost there. Right, okay. Right, what I might have to do here actually is leave a kind of make something better in the future, but for now, get our crate, stick him down there. Now this guy will start doing exactly what the other one is doing. Okay, cool. So yeah, he's a bit quicker. He's not much quicker, to be fair, but he can be made quicker once we can make the speed modifiers, which I think I can make with the crystals that he's going to be getting. Now, I'm going to leave him with his clear lens, so he's going to be essentially taking over doing what this one is doing. This one, we're going to change him out, because for the moment he's got a clear lens in there, which is essentially getting everything, pretty much everything. What I'd like to do is get him to focus a little bit more on getting the fuel for the reactor. Now to do that, I have to make a lens, but it has to have a specific color. Now, I don't know if you're aware, but in Minecraft there are 16 different standard color dyes. Now, that means that there are 16 different lenses, and each one focuses on something slightly different in terms of what it picks up. So what we're going to do, so first of all, make ourselves a lens. Now what we want is the green lens. That one is the one that focuses on the there we go, green laser lens. Now he should focus on a couple of things. If I remember rightly, it's the uranium for the industrial craft and the yellowite that we want for our reactor. Now, at this level, at tier 1, he will not necessarily get everything we want. He will focus a little bit more on it, but he will lean towards getting things like uranium and yellorium, which is what we really want. We do have plenty of fuel for the moment. Let's have a look. What I've been doing is putting the fuel in here. Yeah, well, when I say plenty, but the reactor itself has still got a full stack in there, still a stack of 64. Now, what will be happening now, because I've started that one up, is the power will slowly be draining from, let's see, from the reactor. Yeah, see, look, the power's going down quite dramatically there. That's because we've now got the two running. So what I'm going to do now, so they are going to be putting out pretty much all the power. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out the rods and put my reactor up to full power. This will mean that he will use more fuel, but obviously now, because we've got the two ore miners, one of them will hopefully be focusing on getting us more reactor fuel. There we go. Okay. So now he's back to outputting 4,500, and as you can see, yeah, my energy buffer is building its way back up, as is the temperature. Now, if he overheats, it's not going to explode, but it will reduce its efficiency quite dramatically. So you just need to keep an eye on these two here. This is the casing and the core. So it looks like it's stabilizing around 740. As you can see, this, the bar goes a slightly different color as it gets higher. Now, that's fine. It looks like it's stable there, and that's you know, if it was 2/3 of the way up, you'd have to start getting worried about how you're cooling your reactor and maybe changing things around a bit. But for now, it's running at a relatively stable temperature, 745, 746. It's got a relatively stable output, and the fuel efficiency is pretty good. That I've seen reactors that are like 0.2, 0.3, which is very inefficient, and we're getting. This is how heavily irradiated the core is, high level rate. So basically, this is reducing by 400% this figure. So in other words, my reactor's efficiency is 419%, which means it's a hugely efficient way of running this setup with the 4 cores together like that in a square. Apparently, according to a tutorial I watched, most people like putting them together in a checkerboard pattern where they're, you know, spaced out away from each other. But he's sat down, this guy sat down and done the maths, and, like, you know, sat and made about 20 different reactors, all the same setup, and figured out that actually this is by far the most efficient way of setting up your reactor. So now everything's fine. He will be pulling out slightly more fuel, but not yet. So basically now we could leave this running overnight and not have to worry about it. But this guy here, yeah, see, look, he's already very busy. And that's just in the time, you know, in the last few minutes. So yeah, he's doing exactly what we want. Because he's tier 2, see, he's already picked up an rhodium crystal. So yeah, he will start picking up the next one, which I think, let's have a look at environmental tech. So the next crystal will be the chironite. Let's have a look at the speed upgrade. Where's the speed upgrade? Here at the end of the... Come on, where are you? There we go, speed modifier. This guy needs rhodium and lonsdaleite. Okay, so that's going to make one of those. I think actually the other one, very rarely they will randomly pick up a higher tier crystal. Now I think this guy, because he's been running for a long time, yeah, look, he's picked up 2 of them. So we could actually make 2 speed modifiers. Now that would be cool. Okay, so this guy now should be focusing a little bit more on the fuel. Right. Not seeing it just yet, but then it's going to be a thing over time. Oh, actually, yeah, because we only had a couple of yellowite in there just now. So yeah, he is focusing a bit more. What I need to do is clear this all out and figure out what exactly he's picking up. But for now, we're just going to leave him with the green lens, and hopefully he's going to lean a bit more towards the fuel. So that being done, what we're going to do now is we're just going to go and check on our machines. What I've been doing is some of the stuff that's been coming out of those that reactor I've been putting in here. Okay, Lorium dust. See, there's 26 more fuel there. So what we're going to do is just going to pop them in there. And he hopefully, yeah, there we go. And I think, yeah, there we go. Look. So he's already producing more fuel. Excellent. Cool, which essentially means now we could run these reactors pretty much all the time, even when we're logged off, and we will be fine. Excellent. Good stuff. Right, so take those, put those up there. Cool. So that is essentially what I wanted to achieve today. I have a couple of other things in mind. Now, when I first started, I had these simple versions of the alloy smelter and the sag mill. What I'm finding is that yes, this is okay. However, they are painfully slow. Like this stuff, I just have to sit back and leave it for hours and hours just to, let it filter through all the stuff that's coming out of the ore miner. See what I'm going to do, I'll show you. Let me just go and grab some stuff out of the ore miners. Okay, some of the stuff that we can process through there. So, okay. It's diamond, draconium, emeralds, certus, glowstone, nether quartz, yellowite. I did just do this before the stream, so I'm not expecting there to be huge amounts of stuff here for me to process. Not through that methodology anyway. So let's go back up to machines. What we do, we put that stuff all in there. And as you can see, he's processing it, but it is relatively slow. So what I'd like to do next is upgrade these things. We have the sag mill and the alloy smelter. Now I have the simple versions. What I'd like to do now is look at the more advanced version. Alloy smelter. So let's look what we're going to do. We want him. And then, oh, no, we didn't want to do that. We want to do him, put him over in the recipes, and then let's look at the sag mill. Okay, we want, yeah, him over in recipes. Right, okay. So let's have a look, see what we need. So let's do, well, seems we're using the sag mill more, let's do him first. Okay, so, right, piston, dark matter, I've already got some of that, infinity, grains of infinity, let's just check to see we have those. I did collect some earlier, but I think I've used most of them. Let's just check grains. Oh, I've only got one. Right, lovely. Okay, no problem. So what I need to do is make myself a flint and steel. These grains of infinity are a bit of a pain to get. I just think I'll make one for now. Actually no, let's make two. Might need a few. Right, what we have to do is we're going on a little bit of an adventure. We're going downstairs, all the way down to the bottom of my mine. We have to go down to bedrock. And there is only one way currently to get grains of infinity. what you have to do is you have to use a flint and steel on the bedrock. Now I have a little place down here somewhere where I've been doing this. Nope, not that way. Yep, here. Oh, there you go. There's my. This, by the way, is directly underneath my void ore miners. So here are the lasers coming down. That's the last one, and that's the new one, the tier 2 one. So they just interact with bedrock and pull ores out from there. To be a little bit careful not to bang into those, because I think they. Let's just check the they. Oh no, they don't hurt. I thought they did. Oh, never mind. Okay, so no bad guys down here. Right, flint and steel. So what we have to do is you have to do this. You have to click it on the bedrock. It doesn't burn for long. And it's, if you can see the progress bar of the flint and steel, as I'm clicking it each time, it's gradually wearing out the flint and steel. Lovely little sound effect. Yeah, there's one broken. You see, as the fire goes out, it burns a little bit off the surface and you get these grains of infinity, which we're going to be needing very shortly. You don't need a huge amount of... I'll freak me out, I thought there was an Enderman stood there. Don't need a huge amount of them, but it's handy to have a few, so I just thought while I was down here I'd make a few extra. I have to be a little bit careful not to walk into the fire. There we go. I'll wait for these fires to burn out. There we go. Excellent. Get me grains. Come on. Thank you. Worth waiting for. Let's see. 41. That's good. That'll do for now. So let's go. Okay, cool. Right place. Then bad guys. No bad guys. Cool. Let's pop those in there. Right, so let's have a look at our sag mill. Now, well, the most awkward thing to make is going to be this, the industrial machine chassis. That bit's not too hard to make. This thing, however, is a pain in the bum. Now, did I actually get to making industrial die blend? Do I have any? Industry. Oh, look at that. I've made some already. Excellent. Right, so we have those. So we need to get some of those out. And we need to make a simple machine. In fact, I think both of these machines, yeah, they both require that industrial thingy. So what we're going to do is we're going to make the simple one. So grains of infinity, iron bars. I think I might need to make a few of those. So let's just take 2 lots of those. We've got loads of iron, so that's not really a problem. Okay, so we're going to make 1, 2 of those, and to make the industrial chassis it has to go through either an induction smelter or an alloy smelter, so we're going to put them through. We only need 2 die. Okay, so we're going to go up to our alloy smelter and we're going to put 2 of those and 2 of those. Okay, that's relatively quick, not too bad. This chassis is by far the hardest part to make. So there's one, and just like that, there's two. Okay. Cool. Right. So next, let's go back down to AE and see what we need next. So sag mill. Okay, so we're going to need a piston. Okay. Then we're going to need, I think I've made dark steel. Did I make dark steel? Please. I made dark steel. Dark. Yes, I did. I thought I had. Yeah, we want a stack of 32 there, so that should be cool. I think, however, these I'm going to need dark steel nuggets. So what I need to do is go back here and take a few out. So let's take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and turn them into nuggets like so. Put them up there. There we go, 45 nuggets. Pop those back in the AE system. See, that laser lens can go back in there, we don't need that. Right, so sag mill. Okay. So I need dark metal gears. So I need 2 of these to start with. So 1, 2 of those. Pop them back in there. Sag mill, dark metal bio. 1, 2. Excellent. There we go. So now we should. There we go. Everything we need to make a sag mill. Perfect. Right. So next we're going to make the alloy smelter. So we're going to need a cauldron. Okay, get him, pop him in there. Then we're going to need 2 more of these guys. So 1, 2 of you guys. And we need the actual dark metal gear. 1, 2 of you guys. And some furnaces. 1, 2, 3. Put those in there. Alloy smelter. So this is the nice thing about applied energistics. Obviously I'm doing this a painfully slow way. However, once you start getting the recipes for all these things put into your auto crafting system, you can just ask it for an alloy smelter and it'll go through the whole process and make you one up. There we go. Right, so now we have a proper alloy smelter and a proper sag mill. Okay, so you're done, which means we can take you out. There we go. And put a proper sag mill down there. Now he's going to need, he's going to need a capacitor. So we'll work on that in a second. Let's just take him out of there. And we will put the proper alloy smelter down there. Now what I'm going to do, because that's handy to have those, I mean that's a lot faster than the old ones. However, what I'm going to do, I'm not going to waste these old ones, because there might come a time when I want to be doing 2 different things at the same time. So there's no reason why we can't just stick these down here, and then we've got them there for later if we need them. Okay. Right, so yeah, both of these guys require capacitors. Now, I think I might have some already made, so let's go back down to 80, and let's just see what we've got. Capacitors, yes we do. Okay, we've got double layer. That's cool. How many have we got? 6. I wonder. Let's see if we can make the highest one, because that would be the best way to do this. So, voltaic capacitor, that's the one we really want. Do we have... What are we missing? Glowstone. Oh, we're just missing glowstone. Okay, well that's fine. Let's go. I think we have glowstone dust in here. Yes, we do. Take half a stack of that. Turn it into glowstone by just forming it into a square like that. Pop them back in the AE system, like so. And then these, can I have 1, 2 of them boys? Right, cool. Then all we do is we go back up to our machines, and then we put him in there like that, and as you can see then he starts powering up, and these things vastly increase the storage and speed. So by putting this highest upgrade in to start with, this basically means that this machine is going to go a lot quicker than it did before. Okay, pop the other one in there. There we go. Now, what we're going to do is show you a little experiment. So we're going to go back down to 80. Let's go and see our tier 2 miner, see how he's doing. Oh yeah, he's doing fine. He's getting all kinds of interesting things. So, let's have a look. What can we take from here? Emerald, Draconium, Certus, Diamond. Not much else there we can use for the moment. Most of these go through normal processing, so let's go back over here, see what you've got, sir. Again, shouldn't be a lot because we've just recently put a whole load through. Diamond. Porters. How's he doing on the other way? Yes. Trying to find where the, yeah, I'm already taken it out, have I? Can't see it for looking. Where's he gone? Is he not produced anymore? Huh, that's interesting. I was hoping that the green lens would make it so. Okay, never mind. That'll do now. So what we'll do is go back up to our machines, and then we're going to pop all this stuff up there. Okay, now see how much quicker that is. Oh, by having set up his output. So let's just go to configuration. Now this is the little configuration when you see that's the machines he's touching, so we need this one here to be set to push. There we go. So you see he pushed all the stuff out. There we go. It all goes into the chest here. Look. Nice. That's actually quite quick. And he's finished already. Nice. Yeah, much better. Much faster. And we'll take that Eulorium. Thank you very much. And we'll put you to our chappy up here. Excellent. So yeah, that's those upgraded. Right. Put my tools away that I don't need anymore. Don't need the assembler and don't need my wrench. Okay. Getting there. So those were the two things I really wanted to accomplish today to get these. Actually, what I've also done is I've upgraded all my energy cells as well here, so we now have like 50 million, so we have 150 million RF storage up here, and that's just to run our basic machines now and our AE system, because as yet we haven't thought about doing an individual power supply for our AE system, which is going to be expanding soon. I think actually that's what we're going to be working on next, because even though we've got the basic setup down here and my friend Creepy's gone through and done all this drawer system to alleviate some of the storage in the drives, we still haven't really connected it up to the base up top. So like for example, when we come up here, what we'd like to have would be to have terminals instead of having these like storage containers with all this stuff in it. Be nice to have everything in our AE system. So what we need to do is run cabling underneath here and bring it up so that we can have various terminals in all the different areas. For example, down in my Filmcraft area where I've got all these chests storing different stuff, it would be nice just to have a terminal here in the wall perhaps, so that we can just bring things down. And this is something I need to get back to, doing a bit more Filmcraft, because we got so far but then we stopped because I got to the point where I was starting to have issues with what was going on down here. As you can see, things have changed slightly because of the big room I built. But yeah, I did build this cleaning thingy, which, you know, it works. It does what it's supposed to do. But I need to increase the size of that. I need to make it bigger and better. And I also need to have one underneath here, because under here, what I was going to be doing is growing these crystals. However, they're not growing, and that is because the system around here, the area around it, isn't clean enough. We need to have that structure that we've got under here, this structure down here, we need to have a bigger one and have one underneath there as well. So that's something we've got to work on in the next few days. So yeah, lots to do. And then eventually what we're going to be doing as well is either building a second reactor next to this one, similar kind of size, or going all out once we get these, because like these here, there's going to be upgraded to tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, and then they start requiring stupid amounts of power. Just to give you an idea, the tier 1 only requires 660 RF, which is not bad. The tier 2 that I've just built today requires 3600. The tier 3 requires 6600, so that requires more than that reactor is currently putting out. And the tier 4 requires 7930. Then it gets silly because the tier 5 and 6 is just ridiculous. I mean, the tier 6 requires 35,370, which is roughly 10 times what that current reactor is putting out, and that's already a considerable amount of power. It's 4,500 RF per tick. When you think this is putting out 4,500, and where are they? It's up above me somewhere, isn't it? There. These guys, which was what I started with, these are only putting out 80 each. So it would require what, 10, 8, so it would require about 45, 50 of these to match the reactor that I've got downstairs, and that really didn't take me much effort at all to build that. The only thing with those reactors is the fuel itself. It's very hard to find in world, so that's why we went for the ore miner to start with, because that allowed us to kickstart our whole reactor setup, which is great. Worked really nice, and I'm hoping this guy is going to start picking up some more uranium. I'm sure there's no uranium here. If there isn't, I'm a little bit disappointed. I'm not sure. I mean, the guide said that it's the green. Oh, he did pick up a couple. Yeah, just now. Okay. Not so impressive. That's nice, because with those I can make speed upgrades. Let's just have a look. Speed. No. Helps you spell speed right. Okay. Let's not do it like that. Let's do it like environ. Okay, speed modifier. Okay, it only requires 1. Now that's nice, because I could put 2 speed modifiers into this guy. See there, like you've got the null modifiers, so all we have to do is take those out and put the speed modifier in. The only downside with that is that it increases the energy usage. It does vastly increase the speed at which this thing works, but it does also conversely increase. And we've got our first chironite crystals. Yeah, that's the tier 3 stuff coming there. Excellent. Yeah, it does increase the power usage, which is definitely a downside. Definitely a downside. Okay, so that's the main stuff that we wanted to do today. Let's have a look, see how we're doing over here. So we have got loads of everything, which is really nice. Getting to the point now with 2 of those ore miners working, we should never have to mine for resources again, because we've got plenty of everything we need. And also that means that it means we can spend more time doing the good stuff. There we go, there's Urium. What we actually want to do is take all of these out of here, like so, and stick them all. It's another thing I should think about automating as well. It's like bring those machines down, or not bring them down, but bring a line down into the AE system, because all of that stuff can just be fed automatically into the system, which will be really nice eventually. So there we go, put all those in there. The fuel, however, we are going to put in there. That's where the guy's taking the fuel from. He hasn't really used much fuel yet. No, hardly any actually. Yeah, he's doing fine. Temperature's fine. Yeah, about 4,500. What I'll have to do is look at how much the speed upgrades will affect. I mean, obviously it will bring in the ore a lot quicker, but I'm wondering with 2 of them running, do I really need to do that? He's already bringing the ore in quite quickly, and it's going to get to the point soon where we're going to have to start thinking about automating the output, because at the moment these crates are filling up awfully quickly, and it's going to be a lot of running backwards and forwards taking all this stuff. So yeah, we might have to think about doing item transfer, because the machines are okay, machines are over there, so we could yes, you can just see the ore miners down through that gap there. That's quite a long way. What we might have to start thinking about, let's see, what do we need to make ender chests? So what we could do is have an ender chest. Ender chest. These things are really cool, because what you essentially do, okay, it requires blaze rods. Yeah, it's a bit tough. When you make one of these crates, you have 3 buttons on the top, which you can color code with different types of colored wool. So you could have one that's like, you know, green, orange, green. And what that will do, anything that goes into the green, orange, green, if it finds another chest that has the same combination within, well, it doesn't matter, the distance is irrelevant, another chest with green, orange, green, it will automatically move stuff from one chest to the other. And so then it would just automatically transfer everything between the 2 and take care of all the output, which would be really cool actually. That would be nice. Okay, so let's just take all of this stuff, see, this is what I'm having to do at the moment, is actually take all the stuff out of the chest manually and then just dump it into the AE system, and then back again and do the whole thing over again. So yeah, not a particularly efficient way of doing things. I mean, you know, we're getting a lovely amount of stuff, but the management of it needs to be taken care of next. So I think that is actually going to be next, the stream tomorrow. We're going to be looking at automating that whole process. So see, the machines are directly above the AE system, so that's not too bad, because the output should be relatively easy. We can just build like an import bus to allow us to import items directly into the system. You just need to look at the channels and the way that they're set up. So yeah, that's cool. We can do that. That'll work out quite nicely. You can see our AE system has got all kinds of crap in it, but not all the crap. We need to work on the automation system. So yeah, we really need to ramp up the whole automation process of the applied energistics. So I think that's what I'm going to do tomorrow. I'm going to really get to grips with applied energistics and start feeding all the stuff in from around my base. So you've got all these like little loose chests lying around with bits and pieces in them. What we might also do, do you know what, I'm quite happy with this power setup, so I think I'm just going to leave that for now. There's no reason to take it down. I think that'll do fine. And this is working nicely. This is, even though we've ramped up the number of, I think we've gone up to 8 coal generators now. This is keeping up lovely with this greenhouse grass. Don't have to worry about that at all. And how are things going over? Yeah, Astral we need to come back to really soon. Well, I think once I've got my applied energistics set up, I'm going to go back and do a bit more Filmcraft and Astral. Make a bit more progress. See, this is one thing my mate's done over here. He set up this tree thing, which is just automatically farming trees, which is really cool to watch actually. It just starts harvesting the trees, which is really quite fun. You can see the trees building up there. And he'll just start cutting them all down. Like so. It's really cool. And that whole process is completely automated, don't have to do anything with it. I'll just go through, there we go, look, taking all the trees down. Yeah, that's very cool. So lots of plans, lots of things to do. Still haven't got around to finishing off my house. I really should do some more about that. You need to get so involved with the tech and everything else that you're doing that you quickly, you know, your plans just go out the window and you end up doing completely random stuff. Which, you know, that's how it kind of works. That's the whole fun, is that you can just, that's the beauty of these packs, is that there are so many different things that you can do that I tend to sort of move around between one and the other thing. You get bored with doing something, so you just move on and do something else. See how that works, which is nice. But yeah, we nearly get some focus and start getting our automation sorted out. There's a lot of walking around involved, or you know, teleporting around involved at the moment. And the whole idea of applied energistics is so you don't have to do that anymore. And you get everything auto-crafted for you and, you know, done for you. And this, he started working on industrial foregoing. This mod is really cool. This will be fun later on for getting into mob farms. This particular mod, let's just show you industrial foregoing. So that's industrial. That was supposed to spell it right. So yeah, not a huge amount in this mod, but it has all these, you know, plant fertilizer, all kinds of things, taking care of animals, mob duplicators, block breakers, and even a wither builder, which is kind of nice because when you get to the point of being able to kill withers, if you don't know, the wither is one of the bosses in the nether, and he is a bugger. Normally they are awful things. I don't know what that is. What's a LIGO? I don't know. Probably, if I wanted to, I could. Don't know what one is, but yeah, alright then, whatever. Yeah, but that mod, that industrial foregoing, that allows you to build all kinds of things for dealing with mobs, for farming mobs and stuff. So, which is kind of cool because a lot of them have very useful things for dropping later on. In particular, that wither, when you kill him, he drops something called a nether star, which is used in some of the highest crafting recipes that you can get to, the sort of end game stuff. So that would be fun, getting into that. Anyway, that, boys and girls, is time. So, thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and follow my channel. And I shall be back again tomorrow with, I think, some applied energistics. So, thank you for watching, and goodbye for now.